Testing balls and testicles, and Arnold Schwarzenegger saying he's coming everywhere. Hi, this is Lenny Sherman.
And Matt Weatherford.
Welcome to Schmuckast, episode 9.
Where we talk about schmucks and casting.
I said that the last time you...
Well, I had to bring it in, you know. This is the 9th one?
I think so, yeah.
My gosh. That's a lot of hours of talking about things that we don't know what the hell we're talking about.
And Star Wars.
And Star Wars.
And Berserk. That's it.
So what's up? How's it going?
That's all right.
You know, well, what would you like to talk about, huh? What do you think?
I was thinking the other day, for some reason, Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
Did you own a Nintendo 64 when it first came out?
Yeah, of course.
If you remember, that year that it came out, in 1996, there were only, I think, 8 games that came out between September and December. Remember that? It was a really hard system to buy games for, because Nintendo, their thing was...
Turok and...
I think Turok came out later.
Turok, Mario...
Well,
was
my
there
dad...
a Zelda game? No.
Zelda Ocarina of Time came out like a couple years later.
Pilot Wings 64?
Pilot Wings and Mario were the launch titles. Shadows of the Empire, Mario Kart, Cruis'n USA, Killer Instinct Gold, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, and I think Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey, and Wave Race.
Wave Race, yeah, I remember Wave Race. Mario Kart? Wow,
Mario Kart came out, I think that first year, too.
Cool.
And I think Star Fox came out the year after.
But what about the 64? So what are you saying?
Well, I just... Nintendo had this thing back in the day of, like, when N64 came out, of quality over quantity. And I remember they only had, like, 2 games come out a month, and then after a while, you know, they started to pick up steam, and they had more third-party support, and they had more games come out. But I was kind of looking back at those first, like, 8 or 10 N64 games.
That's kind of funny. One of the topics I had was 64.
Well, yeah.
Because we just played GoldenEye, and I forgot how fun that is. We played GoldenEye. It's pretty fun with you only live once, or you only die once. Wasn't one shot, one kill?
Yeah.
You play with rockets and run around. It's pretty cool.
The smoke fucking kills you.
I think today it's even still the best 4 multiplayer game you can get. I mean, there's just nothing like playing GoldenEye with 3 other friends of yours.
Yeah.
On a split screen. The Golden Gun. And it's a great game, isn't it? Just in itself. The campaign mode is pretty cool, isn't it?
Yep. But that's one of the only games where I really appreciate the multiplayer aspects.
Yeah, it's a classic. It's an old game.
Yeah.
And Mario Kart.
An oldie but a goodie. But I was looking at those. I don't know. I mean, because my dad, you know, he made some pretty decent money back then, so he would just go out and every month he would buy us the game. It was easy because you look at the PlayStation, and I think the Saturn was out at the same time, and there were tons of games to choose from, and you got a lot of crap. And they described it one time as like the PlayStation and the Sega Genesis had a bunch of B plus titles, and they had a ton of them. N64 had a couple of games, but they were all like A titles. And if you look at like the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis, well, the same thing can be said for the N64 and the PlayStation. The PlayStation had a lot of good titles, but N64 had fewer titles, but most of them were like A plus titles.
So you got a question or something, or you just wanted to
I just wanted to talk about how great those original games were, and like at the end of its lifespan, N64 kind of had a lot of mediocre titles too. Of course, you had games like Ocarina of Time and stuff like that.
Yeah. I still think maybe the Super Nintendo still has a little bit of an edge on the 64, but...
Well, if you look at really classic gaming, absolutely. But you got to remember, too, I think the reason why I bring this up is N64 was the beginning of an era, really. That whole PlayStation, Saturn, N64 era, that was when games were transitioning to 3D. Games as we know it were changing.
Nintendo's always led the way. Even going back to the NES. They've always led the way. They've always started that new era of gaming. More than Sega did, more than Sony has. Even today, I still think Nintendo remains at the forefront of gaming. Is that a word?
Yeah. I don't know if
yeah. Well, definitely with the NES at least, but
yeah, I don't know if I would completely agree with today just because of the Wii U, but absolutely.
Yeah,
but I just, you know, that was the thing, was I was thinking, like, in terms of nostalgia, like, you know, I'm 30 now, and like 5 years ago, nostalgia would have been NES, Super NES, but now that I'm 30, N64 also has a lot of nostalgia value. And I remember, I don't know if you remember, like the first time playing Mario 64, it's been a while since we've actually played it or talked about it, and obviously there's no 2-player mode in that game.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And the game honestly hasn't aged that well. I would definitely say like Mario Galaxy on the Wii is definitely a much more playable game, but you know, like you beat Mario Galaxy once and you really don't go back to it. You know, Mario 64, you can, but Mario 64 is a game you can definitely go back to. I remember the first time playing that game, man. Like, I'd never played a game with analog controls before with a joystick. Yeah. I mean, that was all new.
Revolutionary.
It's pretty standard today.
Revolutionary.
But everything back then was D-pad.
Shadows of the Empire. Remember, it wasn't that one scared the hell out of me. Remember, wasn't it the Wampas would chase you?
Yeah.
Is that the one I'm thinking of? Yeah, the Wampas would chase you, and then you had the creatures in the water. Like, I would dive in the water, and there would be these giant snakes in there or something.
Oh, yeah, the one level where you're sinking down, and you had the giant tentacle.
I used to love going down there and just getting freaked out by the monsters. That used to scare me.
I remember in Mario 64 also when you're in the water and that big eel comes after you.
the big eel comes out.
Yeah, I mean, there was just nothing like it. And I was thinking back on those original, like, 8 games. Like, it's very rare when a system comes out and there's, every title is a must-have. And for the most part, the first 8 or 10 games, that first year it came out, even though there wasn't a lot of games for it, Killer Instinct Gold, Cruisin' USA, which is often considered a really bad port of the arcade, but it was one of my favorite racing games because it was so simple and so fun. Shadows of the Empire, which to me is the most memorable Star Wars game ever, because that was the first Star Wars game to really make you feel like you were in the movie behind the cockpit of a snowspeeder. You know, Killer Instinct Gold was really the first time I felt like I was playing an arcade game in my living room. It was unbelievable.
Oh, good.
You know? So I just didn't know what your thoughts were on that. I remember I had pretty much every launch title for the N64, and it was just blew my balls off.
Revolutionary, yeah. Yeah. Blew your balls off?
Yeah, I blew my own balls off with my mouth and then my gun.
GoldenEye is still lots of fun. Bachelor party memories and killing you all the time. It's lots of fun.
It's really weird because when there's 4 of us, I dominate in that game. But when it's 2, I do. But when it's 2 of us, you pretty much
depends on the gun
ass.
you used to. If we're only going to play one shot, one kill, I mean, automatic weapons, it's kind of almost, you know what I mean? It's so crazy. Yeah. I mean, you're going to get hit. I think pistols is a pretty fair way to do it.
Hi, wife. How are you doing?
This podcast is about to end.
All right, come on, go on out.
What is this?
It's family time with the Shermans in the podcast.
Why don't you say something, Amanda? What do you think about the 64?
I don't know.
She likes 69.
Oh.
Maybe I was a little out of line there. Maybe I was a lot out of line. No.
All right, we're gonna need to take
No.
a break.
No.
This podcast is under attack.
Peppa Pig is dead. I killed him.
We can go upstairs in the oven.
I made him into bacon. You ate Peppa Pig last week.
So wrap up your 64 talk. Anything else you have on it?
You wrote it down. I thought you had some stuff.
Yeah, well,
on it.
that's pretty much the way. All I needed.
All right, we'll watch Penis Pit. Oh, sorry.
One thing I want to talk, because we watched it just yesterday. I was interested as to what you thought about it. I wanted to talk about it just briefly, but Dial M for Murder was a movie you saw by Hitchcock. It was like a play.
Yeah, I like Hitchcock.
Of a guy trying to kill his wife, right?
Hold the hitch.
Plot. Yeah. Kind of, right? He bribes him into killing his wife. And
call me Hitch and hold the cock. Yeah, I liked it. It
was a little fun, wasn't it?
Yeah,
because what is nice, you know who the bad guy is in the beginning.
I like his movies because you can really pay attention to what's going on. Like, there's an actual story unraveling, and it does kind of seem like all the movies I've seen, for the most part, kind of move at the same pace, a very leisurely pace.
Murder is a very popular theme in Hitchcock's movies.
Yeah,
but that one, he's pretty much the acquaintance of his, and it's a very smart guy. He had it all planned out when you first watched the beginning. I love that scene when they don't even know each other, but slowly as the conversation goes on, he pretty much by the end has bribed him to kill his wife. It's very eerie, It's like, wow.
He was making a lot of mistakes, though. Like that one writer said, it's easy to write the stuff on paper, but it never goes as planned. Well, that's why the movie shows that, and it was really interesting. Just all the
there's there's a lot of great scenes when you think about it. There's that part where his watch was suddenly stopped, and he realized he was way off, and the guy was getting ready to leave. Remember, he was just like, "Oh, fuck this," and he had to wait for the guy in the phone booth. When he finally gets there, there's a guy in there, and
I thought it was interesting that it was shot in 3D. Because they made a lot of 3D movies back then. I don't know why all of a sudden it's coming back the way it has now. Yeah. I just think it's
What do you think
bullshit.
of Grace Kelly? It was your first movie. She's a nice girl, huh?
I don't know if this is the first movie I've seen her
felt
in.
bad for her almost. The poor thing. She was attacked.
Yeah, she was really attractive.
Oh, well, yeah.
I mean, she was kind of playing the damsel in distress. She didn't really
I
strike
like that
me.
scene at the end though when she's like, "I don't feel anything. What's wrong? I don't
Yeah.
feel anything." That was kind of I remember that one.
Maybe because
There
she
are
was
a lot
kind
of cool parts. There's a lot of all these little. Then the police start to investigate about what happened, and the husband does just.
Do you think she was kind of expecting that behavior from him though, when she said she doesn't really feel anything?
Well, yeah, delayed reaction or whatever.
Yeah.
I do love the ending though when he realizes it's still under the carpet and he opens the door and they're all staring at him and he goes, "Well, Mark, I guess you can have a drink."
Yeah. No, it was a good movie. I'm glad you showed it to me.
It was short, but like I said, there's an intermission too. Yeah, and the 3D effect is kind of cool. The scissors death was kind of silly. That was a little like, whatever. But
I didn't even realize it was 3D until I saw that special feature on it.
But it was more like a play, wasn't it? Like I said, it really never left that. It never left
I
the
really want
apartment.
to see Rear Window because you keep
Well, good.
hyping that up, and
Yeah.
that's seems to be one of his better known
It is one
films.
of his best movies,
So
and it's very scary, and it's actually I have it here on a 2-disc set. But anyway,
Yeah.
and Grace Kelly's in it. But anyways, I just wanted to go over that. Just I just wanted to touch on it, and I really hope you liked it. And like the more you think about it, there's a lot of really cool parts, a lot of cool scenes. Because you were kind of with the killer, you were kind of identifying with him. You knew he was the killer in the beginning, and you kind of saw how he covered up his tracks for the most part. But he forgot, he didn't take into account that the guy had put the key under the carpet. Then
well, that's the thing. Like the husband had put so much work into this plot. Like I'm sitting there trying to that scene where he's actually talking about his plan with the killer, with the assassin. I'm sitting there like, shouldn't he be writing this shit down? Or because I was getting confused.
Oh well, yeah, but pretty much.
I mean, I'll be honest right now. I would have botched that up in so many different ways, just because there were so many steps you got to be careful of.
Well, you figure he'd kill her, and you had your alibi. He was out to dinner. You'd come home.
Let me ask you though, if somebody comes to you and he has all this shit on you and he says you either kill my wife or I'm gonna blackmail you, I'd be like, fucking blackmail me then.
He knew he'd do it for the money though.
Yeah.
He was a very shady character. It's kind of creepy how he followed him around everywhere. He's like, "Oh
But
yeah, I studied your habits."
See, this is another movie
when you
where
pick up a hobby, it becomes so much more fascinating.
this is another movie where I feel that you can't really root for anybody. I didn't like anybody because Grace Kelly and everything. She was a beautiful actress.
Victim, yeah.
I wouldn't even say that. Because she was having an affair, and to me, I get really annoyed by that. I just think that's just a big offense to be cheating on your spouse, even if it's warranted, even if you're not happy in the marriage. She was cheating on her husband behind his back, so you couldn't really root for her. You couldn't root for the boyfriend, for the writer, because he.
No, it's not even about rooting. It's just a cool little story of how.
No, you're right.
You see how
it's a cool story.
Well, it's nice that you know who the bad guy is.
I think the one character I did root for kind of was the cop.
The investigator?
Yeah, investigator. Yeah, I was rooting for him because he was so smart. He was
playing
playing it off like, I can't do anything.
Oh, the acting too was really cool. How he was doing everything, and and I like how he proved her innocence at the same time. She never checked under the carpet, and he was like, "That's how I know you didn't."
Yeah,
do
and
it.
I don't think she deserves to die for her sins.
It looked like she killed the guy for blackmailing her, and that's why she got tried. And I like when the writer comes and goes, "You got to tell you anything just to save her life. How about you sent those blackmail letters?" And he starts going through the whole plot, like everything he had done. That was a fun little movie. I'm happy you want to watch Rear Window. I'd love to watch it with you whenever, unless you want to watch it by yourself. But it's a very solid thriller, very scary. It's actually quite thrilling.
Yeah.
Because the main character is in a wheelchair, can't move, can't really do much. So you kind of feel like you're in the wheelchair. It's a very helpless feeling.
Yeah.
But anyways.
God, I had something else I wanted to talk about, and I didn't write it down.
Yeah. Well, that was one. Berserk themes. I don't know why I wrote Berserk themes.
I thought you were done with Berserk. Be honest, did you like that?
I'm not done with it. Why do you think I wrote down Berserk themes? I don't know why I wrote themes. I mean, we can touch on themes of, I don't know. The one line that still got to is when Griffith said a god or a demon, what's the difference? I don't know why, but watching that whole thing, that line still stands out to me because that was really, to me, that was, you know what I mean, though? It's a big line. You really understand that Griffith has pretty much sold his soul. He had that, what's that called? The Emblem? What do you call it?
The Bailet.
The Emblem.
Emblem? We're not talking about Steven Spielberg's production
Wait,
company.
what? Oh, that's where I got it from. The Bailiff.
Bailet.
Bailiff
is the thing in the courts.
Yeah.
Bailiff!
He was, what is it? What is it, Nash? Oh, is that Ernest Goes to Jail?
Yeah.
Was that what you were doing there? Oh, okay.
It's called a bailet.
You mean Death Row? Oh, yeah. Death Row?
Jethro?
The hot seat, you're out of here, bub. That row? Oh, no.
The row?
We should just do this whole podcast with just movie lines. It's just like, name your movie, you can probably just go down the list.
Yeah, so go ahead. So that line.
Which one?
Whether he's a demon or an angel.
Yes. Whoa, hello. Oh, okay.
Um,
But yeah, Berserk themes. I don't know what I really meant from that, but
yeah, well,
it was just a nice tale of redemption.
I don't think, and this is something I used to
It's like-
ponder. I don't think Griffith knew what he was in for when he started. At first I was like, I'm wondering if he knows the whole time what his destiny is. You know, because that's the one thing that you have to understand about the Bailet. All the demons, they start out as humans, and some way or another they get a Bailet, and the Bailet is what calls the God hand down. And the big thing is how you become a demon is you have to sacrifice a loved one. You do that, and you become a demon because you're kind of shedding all human emotion.
You know what I think Berserk is like motive, like what drives you.
Yeah.
Each of those characters had a different drive of what was driving them.
And the show, you get that. There's an episode in the show where it's right after Guts kills the 100 men. They get back from that whole battle, and you know, Casca, she's almost raped, but Guts saves her and everything.
Right.
They come back, and there's an episode called Bonfire of Dreams. They come back to the camp, and they look out at the camp, and they just see bonfires from all the soldiers, and Guts and Casca are talking, and it's where Casca basically asks Guts, "Are you thinking of leaving the Hawks?" Because Guts is like, she knows he doesn't belong. He doesn't think he fits in, and she's trying to make him stay. But anyway,
but he had to stay, didn't he? Griffith. I like when Griffith was like, "Well, you seem to have forgotten our bargain," because he belonged to Griffith now. That's the way it was.
Well, that's why they fought, and Guts finally won. Guts wanted his freedom,
He
was tired of serving a person. He was tired of servicing that dream. He had lost so much. He had assassinated people.
One of my favorite scenes I thought was when she tries to commit suicide. She goes, "It's up to you now," and she tries to jump off the river.
Yeah,
and he catches her, and she starts crying, and they make love. That stuff was very very moving. You could see how scared she was.
Yeah,
the poor thing.
It wasn't so much scared. It was she was tired. She was done. And
confused.
The film doesn't show that much. The movie doesn't show that. In the show, she's very fatigued. There's literally a scene where she's talking to Judo. Judo leaves her alone to eat, and her head just like dips in her bowl of soup or whatever she's eating because she's so tired. And that's what that whole fight was about. Was she was like, "You're back. Fuck you. I'm done. I'm gonna end it now." And that's what she tells him. He leans over to save her again, and she's just like, "You fool! You keep saving me, and you keep bleeding for me, and I'm horrible to you." And that's really,
that is kind of the theme of Berserk. Is like what drives you. It's like every character had its own
ambition
motive.
is really one of the things, and that's the thing that happens to Guts now. Is the only thing that's really keeping him alive, and the thing that's keeping him fighting is Casca. And they have a very rocky relationship because after the whole thing in the eclipse, the series now is that she's lost her mind, she's insane, she's lost the ability to think and rationalize and talk. And Guts scares the crap out of her. Their relationship is very different.
So you don't think Griffith knew what was going to happen to him?
No, not until he got there.
It seemed like he kind of knew what path he was going. Oh, I guess you're right.
No, because if you remember, when he got to the eclipse, the demons were showing him his past, and there's actually one demon in particular that has the ability to do that.
Yeah.
But they were kind of egging him on. If you really look at that scene closely, because at first he's confused about his relationship with Guts. He tries to save Guts a couple of times when Guts falls down that hand, and Griffith reaches out to save him, and then his arm breaks and he has to let go. And then he gets that flashback of, this is really what your destiny is. All these people that you killed, they were serving your dream. Why stop here? Become a demon and keep going.
Yeah.
And that's when Guts came back, and he saw Guts, and he was like, out of all the people that I fought with, you're the one person that got in the way of my dream. And that's the thing too, the fact that he wears the crimson Bailet, and Zod actually says that he wears the crimson Bailet, that's very key. Crimson, it's like the color of blood, and that's the egg of the king, because the other Bailets are like silver, white, they're different colors, but Griffith had the crimson Bailet, and the reason why that's so special is he doesn't just sacrifice Guts, he sacrifices his entire
the whole army
for his dream, and that's why it was so special and why he became the fifth member of the God Hand.
It is a tragedy.
So,
I want to talk about this. Well, unless you got a point, but I think we're going to go with this one. We're going to talk real quick about Twisted Metal 2.
Yay.
We played it. Oh, I know. We haven't really, I remember playing these games all the time when I was a kid. I used to play my dad all the time. He would be Minion, and I'd be Spectre, and I would race around. He couldn't catch me. And
Let me ask you something, though.
I'd keep using my special, and he'd be like, God damn it.
So, every time you play the game, I've only seen you play as Shadow all the time.
Right. Well, I'm going to change it.
It's okay to play as Shadow, but
I love Shadow.
I can't play as Spectre. I can't use the Minion special, even though it's okay for you to freeze.
Oh, here we go.
But I can't use the Minion special.
Here we go.
I can't freeze anybody.
I didn't say you can't freeze.
Unless you're in trouble, then you're like, oh yeah, freeze.
You can freeze. I freeze all the time. Left, right, up, right?
But why can't I use the Minion special?
Because it's 3 powerful missiles that...
It's just like
it's
like Warthog, and I can't be Spectre for some reason. You're like, why be Spectre?
No, I didn't say you can't be. I just, I'm going to be someone different, so I was hoping you would too.
Anyway,
that's all I said.
Yes, Twisted
That's all
Metal
I
2.
said.
Unfortunately for me, that's the only good game in the series.
No, I'll never.
honestly.
My dad was always Minion, and me and him would have the one-on-one challenge, and I would be Spectre, and I used to piss him off so bad because I would just drive around real fast and use my special until he was dead. It was so funny. He'd hear that noise and go, "God damn it!" It was a lot of fun. You can jump in that game, can't you? Isn't it up, left? I think there's so many cool things in Twisted Metal 2. I don't like the first game. I used to love it, but then I tried to play it again, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's really, really...
It's a hard
game. I mean, they tried their best for a PlayStation. Is Twisted Metal 2 a PlayStation game?
Yeah.
That's so cool. Well, just playing it again, by the way, we did beat Antarctica and pretty much Holland without dying.
Almost, yeah. That fucking
Warthog got we couldn't see him in the grass. Remember, it was in the grass. Like, where is he? Where is he? I love Shadow. Shadow's special. It's that thing that goes under the ground. But what's cool is you can be up somewhere and it can go down the building onto the street, which is just so bitchin'. You can kill people from up top of a building. I like Thumper too. Who are your 3 favorite cars? Would you say to use?
God, I don't know.
Thumper's a good one.
Spectre, Outlaw.
Oh, Outlaw. That's not bad.
God, I don't know.
Axel.
I don't like using him. I like the character. I don't
Outlaw,
like using
Outlaw's
him.
not bad.
I like Outlaw. Oh, probably Roadkill, to be honest, because he's a very balanced vehicle. And
Yeah,
Spectre.
Outlaw takes a while though for the special to come, doesn't it? That little
Spectre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess all there's. That's why I like Shadow though, because Shadow is pretty powerful.
I cannot believe how crap
What?
the rest of the series is, though.
Yeah, that's a shame. It's Twisted Metal 2 is really the one gem.
Yeah.
And they got it just right. You know, they took all the best parts about the first game and then they made it better. Some of the cars were from the first game, weren't they?
Yeah. And
Was
some
it
of the cars carried on
Roadkill?
the other ones, but usually it's like different drivers.
Who was from the first game? Was Outlaw in the first game? Yeah.
Outlaw was, but in the second game he's called
A
Outlaw
girl.
2, and it's a girl.
It's a girl. I like that story. He shoots her off in outer space.
I think Hammerhead is in the first game, but different drivers.
Yep.
Spectre's definitely in the first game.
I love the endings.
I think Yellow Jacket is actually Darktooth. Remember Yellow Jacket, the taxi?
Darktooth.
Yeah, I think the guy who drives Yellow Jacket, the cab, is actually
Okay.
Darktooth.
I remember Yellow Jacket. Wasn't Yellow Jacket's weapon the boomerang?
I don't know.
remember.
That
And yeah,
first
Mr.
game
Grimm was in the
sucked.
first game.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, Twisted Metal 2, lots of fun. We played through it just recently, and there's so many great levels. Obviously, what's your favorite level? What's your most funnest? That's a good
I like
question.
Holland a lot.
Holland.
Yeah.
The big field?
I do. I like Holland.
It's anarchy.
I like New
It's
York.
craziness.
I like New York a lot, even though I suck at it.
You're fine. You know what you're doing.
I like Paris.
Oh shit!
Paris has the best part where you
Set
can
up.
blow up the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, that's cool. I like the second Suicide Slide too, where it's just that little tiny. It's just a
That's
little
okay.
arena.
That's kind of a
No, but you
boring
can blow
level.
up the middle though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You put a bomb in the middle and you blow up all the bridges. That's really cool. You can play with your environment, and I was just watching the mechanics of the game. It's so cool. If you bump into someone, you can see how they roll.
Yeah.
But it looks so cool, and you got every car has machine guns, and it's not just the freeze, but there's also little bombs you can put behind you. That you can jump up, you can shoot your. There's just so many cool things you can do in that game.
Yeah.
And I grew up playing it. It's a nostalgia game, and I'm so
then
happy you
they
played
had
it.
like Twisted Metal Black for PS2, and
Oh,
that was
God.
okay. It wasn't terrible, but they made it so dark that it wasn't that enjoyable. And
I
then
played it like twice. I was like, fuck this.
the one on PS3 recently wasn't bad either, but it's just the same thing.
Can we play Twisted Metal 4? Can we? 989 Studios.
No. I played Twisted Metal 3 recently just to do my Twisted Metal 2 review, and God, it was crappy.
Twisted Metal 2 is the only one. And what I like about 2 a lot too are the endings. There's lots of really good endings. Calypso had a great sense of humor.
Yeah.
Except for Minion.
I am Calypso, and I welcome
Except
you to
for
Twisted
Minion.
Metal.
Minion, what are you doing here?
What was that from?
When Minion's ending.
Oh.
He just grabs him and throws him into hell pretty much. I don't even know. I like when Hammerhead goes, we want to fly. He goes, okay, granted. And they go jump off the car. Boom! He goes, well, I guess I'll-"
tickets are refundable. Axel's and Spectre's ending are
With
my
his dad.
favorites.
Oh, Spectre, isn't that the actor star that wanted to be seen?
Yeah, and
becomes the
Calypso
moon?
stretches his
Yeah,
face all over Earth. Yeah, I like that.
I like what was Warthogs? I can't even remember. I
I'm
like
an-
Warhog. Warhog's a good car too.
I'm an old, crappy war veteran. Lily!
What does he ask for?
A bigger penis?
No, they always ask
I
for
don't
something. Yeah. So Roadkills to me was probably the best one when he wakes up in the hospital
And sees everybody
and he
alive.
sees them all in a coma. Yeah, that was real thoughtful. That was real nice because you never know what's real. What's hey. But I love the game, and I'm so glad you play it. And turbo is important to me. I have to have my turbo because I use napalm and stuff. If you're on fire and you don't have turbo, you're fucked. It's just going to slowly kill you. I always kill myself with other cars at the very end. Oh boy, we win.
Me included.
And that's where I got Darktooth from. Darktooth is like my what's the word? I don't know.
Dick tooth.
Shut up. No, they used to call me Dorktooth.
Rightfully so.
Fuck you.
They used to call me
But that's where I got the
Gigantor.
game from. Me and Corey, I played the game all the time when I was younger, man. I love that game, and I still love it today.
I remember when a buddy of mine asked me one day, because the only car combat game I'd really played was Mario Kart. And the first time my buddy told me about Twisted Metal, I'm picturing like you're on a racetrack and you're just going around killing other cars, which seemed like a really cool idea. And I didn't realize it was like an open environment. And the first time I think I played one first, and back then it was like, okay, this is all right.
Yeah.
Today it really has not aged that well at all. But TM2, man, that used to be my favorite game. I used to put in everybody's yearbook, well, thank you for playing Twisted Metal. People are like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Nice.
Yeah, I used to talk about that game all the time in school and high
good.
school. Yeah.
I didn't think I knew you when I was playing Just Smell. That's how much I love it. So anything else you want to talk about? What else is there? You got anything else?
Roger Rabbit. So that Jessica Rabbit, she's got really big tits. Anyway, moving on.
All I had here was Lethal Weapon.
What about
Because I changed my opinion on it. I always said it wasn't that good, but then I watched it again. I was like, actually, it's actually pretty good. The whole,
It's one of those
the
movies.
family parts. You're looking at what's cooking.
It's not the most memorable movie ever, but I
Heroin.
mean, it's
you got off lucky, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's entertaining to watch in the moment. There are some movies that aren't that memorable after you watch them, but they're fun to watch in the moment, and I think that's what Lethal Weapon
I love
is.
Riggs though. He was my favorite character. Mel Gibson.
Okay,
really
okay.
Mel Gibson really stood out because I think that's
Don't
almost
ever
the best
go
role.
to the drive-thru.
Why? Because we
They
know.
fuck you in the drive-thru.
No, I
You
like-
know
I
you're
like-
gonna drive miles away before you realize you got fucked.
I liked when they drive through the window after the guy into the pool and Joe Pesci. She's like, help me. He's trying to, they could have chased the guy, but
Can I please have some cotton balls for my nose? No!
Yeah, he punched him.
You guys are supposed to
I
take care
remember
of
that.
me. Shut up!
What was good about the first one was, they kidnapped my favorite scene in Lethal Weapon maybe is that desert scene where they all go to the desert and they got the
As I
daughter-
say, take your hands
Yeah,
out of your
grenade.
pockets.
If I die, we all die.
He's bluffing! He wouldn't risk killing his own daughter!
If she's gonna die, it's gonna be by my way.
He's probably blonde with
Yeah.
dimples. How'd you know that? Sorry,
Damn it,
it's
it's
over.
Riggs.
Yeah, I took care of a bunch of you pussies in Saigon. Oh, you did you?
Wait, because they think Riggs is dead. How did they find Riggs? Remember that scene where they just shoot him randomly in the street? What was he doing? He was looking for not for prostitutes, but he was interviewing prostitutes because they were investigating a murder, right? Isn't that the story in Lethal Weapon?
Yeah, they're investigating a murder, and they
Someone-
went to investigate Hunsaker, and he was
That's right.
shot. And then they were on the streets, and Riggs was looking at talking to the hookers because Hunsaker's daughter, the one they were investigating, was a prostitute. So that's why there's a couple of scenes actually where if you have the director's cut, there's a few scenes. There's one scene where Riggs actually asks one back to his home to watch Three Stooges with him. That's funny, but no, yeah, they were asking him about some things, and they didn't want the hooker to tell him anything else. So Gary Busey's character comes by, shoots him, and he had his bulletproof vest on. So I'm a corpse. I'm dead.
It's got one of those. It's fucking Christmas. What day is it? What day is it? I think it's Wonderful Life.
Goddamn Christmas!
Yeah. Crazy son of a bitch. I like Joshua. What was it? Gary Busey? Yeah. I like when they're shocking him.
My name doesn't matter. Yeah. But if it does, you may call me Mr. Joshua. Yeah, you're right, Mr. Joshua. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we're going to get an APP on Big Bird. Hi, Eric. I'm Agent Murtaugh. What's your name?
My mom says policemen only kill black people.
Yeah, I like when that scene when they go to the house and just blow.
Don't tell him your name, Alfred.
What are we, fags? Get off me. No, that's what I mean. My opinion of it changed. I saw it. I said, you know what? Actually, that's a really good movie.
Yeah, it's good.
I like Mel Gibson a lot in that movie. It was he's a really cool character. Just he was. I think it was a lot to do.
God
with
hates me. That's what it is. Hate him back. It works for me. Hey, cheer up. Have a French fry.
You want to jump?
Do you really want to jump?
You want to jump?
Oh, that's
Let's go.
fine with me.
Come on.
Let's go.
I'll go with you.
I want to do it.
The old reverse. And the family angle was nice when he invites Riggs over for dinner and the daughter's like in love with him or something like that.
Would you like a tart, Mr. Murtaugh?
Yo, I like when they start rapping at the table.
My sister's in love with
We got
this
a
guy,
nice
Martin.
big black. Oh. But anyways,
A nice
I
black
forgot
substance.
what it was. Yeah,
Roast-like
yeah,
substance.
good movie, man. Hey, and I'll like 2 again. I couldn't finish 2. I maybe I just fell asleep. I don't know. I was just kind of this is stupid. After a while, I liked it though.
You didn't like it.
I can't make up my mind. Sometimes I think I like something, and then I watch it again, and I go, ooh, that wasn't so bad. And then I will hate something, then I'll watch it again and go, oh, that's the best movie I've ever seen.
Like Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, I'm so happy. Anyway.
Tina, eat the ham.
Your fat
Mom
Lark,
goes to college.
Your fat Lark, come get some dinner.
That is such a bad movie. How
It's
can
funny.
you guys
I don't
like
care.
that movie?
It's funny as fuck. Here you are laughing already.
I enjoy making fun of it because it's fucking
It
stupid.
is all whatever. Your mom goes to college. That's kind of funny. So, anyways, I didn't have much else. I was trying to go with what
Dang.
else is here. I never really have. What do you got, man? Help us out here. We're only halfway through.
Halfway through,
Well,
shit. I don't know. Fuck.
This is what I mean. I think the podcast era might be over. Maybe we have said our piece.
This is like the
everything.
Jason Goes to
You know what?
Hell of
Shut
the
it up right
podcast.
Anyways, how about Wes Craven's love letter to the horror scene in the 90s?
He had a
Scream
love letter?
3. No, Scream. I love Scream. Tell us why you like Scream again. You said it's like your favorite horror movie, right? What a cool movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nev Campbell. Give us a story real quick of Scream. Like people wouldn't know, but come on.
Scream.
Yeah, let's hear the plot.
The plot of Scream. There's
Just
a
in a
bunch
nutshell.
of college kids.
They're not in college, dude.
Or high school. They're a bunch of high school kids, and they die. And the survivor is Nev Campbell, and she almost
true.
dies. And then
What
she,
am I
she
doing?
doesn't. Yeah. Hello.
Listen, bitch, you'll die just like your fucking mother.
Fuck you, cretin.
I love Scream. I thought
All right,
that
so-
movie kicked some ass, dude. Are you kidding
So
me?
in the 90s, because I am kind of a horror buff in a sense, but in the 90s, you had a lot of old franchises that were trying to make like quote unquote modern comebacks. So you had like The Bride of Chucky, and you had Jason Goes to Hell, and Freddy's Dead. They were all. It seemed like they were all trying to pander to like the MTV generation, and they weren't. Over, like the 80s horror movie, totally different brand of horror movie than the 90s horror movie. Even Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, you look at like the later Michael Myers movies, like Halloween 6 was fucking retarded, but it had like a lot of guitar riffs and just really, they were trying to like appeal to this just
Getting
really
stale.
fucking weird MTV generation. Freddy's Dead had
It was
the
getting
fucking
stale.
Goo Goo Dolls singing in it, and just all these really weird
What?
90s.
Freddy.
Yeah, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare had a Goo Goo Doll song in it.
Goo Goo's doll. Goo Goo's doll. Anyways. But yeah, no, Scream was like a...
So, yeah,
what would you
when
call it?
Scream came out, I
Revitalization?
didn't know much about it other than I remember a lot of people talking about it. There was definitely a lot of buzz about it, but I had kind of given up on horror. At that time, I was really in my kind of Star Wars phase. So when I saw Scream finally in theaters, it had been in theaters for a while, and I finally went to go see it. I think my uncle took me and my cousin to see it, and it left an impression. It did, because it was
Scary.
It was scary, but at the same time, I was used to seeing monster movies, and this one dealt with actual high school kids and somebody, among them.
Or two.
Yeah, or two.
Spoiler.
Well, at the time,
Yeah.
though, you didn't know there were two. You thought there was just one killer.
I always loved that reveal. I loved how there was... I remember that kicked my ass. That was the one part really got me. Oh, there's two killers.
Yeah,
That
and
was so cool.
that was one of the few times where I didn't listen to the buzz. I had not seen any of the trailers. I went into it just kind of hearing about this movie, and went into it and was really impressed. And that last shot where Gail Weathers, Courtney Cox, is giving her last broadcast,
Yep.
and it pulls back, and it's got that
Over the
really
house.
creepy music. Yeah, I just thought it was very well done.
Bombshell tonight.
Yeah.
No, I like the beginning with Miss Drew Barrymore,
And
the poor
today,
girl.
it's hard to say that. You just got to realize there's a lot of copycats that came after it. Like I Know What You Did Last Summer. Oh my god, and
That
just
was
a
written
lot of
by
other
the same
movies.
guy.
Yeah, but every Kevin Williamson, every kind of teen horror movie after that has the same. Even Freddy versus Jason has the same formula where, oh my god, my mom was
But
killed
never copied.
years ago, and blah blah
Oh, what
blah.
makes it so nice is not only that it's Wes Craven directing, who is one of my favorite directors, but you also had all the sly nods to other films. I mean, there's a lot. There's tons. It's not
Everybody's a suspect.
It's not just the things they say, but it's just all the,
There's
like
a
when
lot of
Stu and Billy
horror-
put their heads together. They look
Yeah.
like a two-headed monster.
There's a lot of horror nods.
You got Henry Winkler as the principal.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorite parts of those.
I like the
When he's yelling at those
janitor.
two kids.
Oh, not you, Fred.
No, when he's yelling at those two kids. Maybe we should hang you by the goalpost to show them the kind of desensitized little shits you are.
Yeah. You sound like
It's
some
not
Wes,
fair!
You sound
You're
like
right.
some Wes Carpenter flick.
My favorite is when they go, Principal Henry's dead. They hang him on the goalpost. Let's go see him before they take him down. It's so sick. It's a real dark movie. There's a lot of But the cast was great. Jamie Kennedy, I think it was his name.
Yep.
Randy, a great scene in the movie store. Great music too, by the way. I think
Maybe she wouldn't have sex with him.
Billy and his penis don't deserve you.
Yeah.
What's nice is he went to jail, and you were thinking, okay, he can't be the killer. He's making those phone calls and blah blah blah. And then obviously the great reveal that Stu. Stu always seems so normal. It's like, why would he go crazy?
It's
like
one of
that?
those movies
why would he
that
rape the mom and
yeah.
peer pressure.
Yeah. It loses its effect over time because that movie was all about what you didn't know going in. And then when you find out all the secrets, now you're just watching it for the entertainment value.
I think people still really enjoy Scream. I don't think it's
it's still enjoyable. It's less effective. It's still enjoyable. It's less effective because you know who the killers are. And after that, you were expecting two killers.
Come on, Sid. Come on, Sid. Just look at me. He looked just like Johnny Depp. Did you notice that little resemblance? Not only in him and Johnny Depp kind of do look a little like him and Skeet Ulrich. The Billy.
I don't see it.
But that's why he came into the window, which I do believe was a reference to Johnny Depp's entrance.
Nightmare on Elm Street? Yeah, okay.
Exorcist was on. It was all censored.
I really liked how in...
reminds me of our relationship.
I like how in Scream 1 they're watching the original Halloween, and then in Halloween H2O they're watching Scream 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Did they? That's kind of cool.
Come
on, Jamie. No, Jamie,
I like the Scream series up until Scream 3 because it's a trilogy, and I like how it's very self-aware.
Until 3, so you're saying you like the first two movies.
No, I like 3 too, but just not as... 3, the biggest thing I'll say about 3 is it introduced me to Kevin Smith, which is really... I look at Scream 3 as a movie by itself. That was fucking stupid.
It's not a good movie.
It's a really bad... No,
Who was the killer? Wasn't it like the director of the movie?
Yeah, he ended up being Sidney's brother, or half-brother.
Okay.
Well, I like the trilogy as a whole because it tells a story. And even though Scream 3 was the weakest of the original 3, I won't even get into Scream 4 because I thought that movie was
just
really
right,
weak.
you can see his penis.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up, Matt. Anyway.
So she's sexually anorexic. Or whatever.
Sexually anorexic.
I like how they're like making love upstairs and it's all in sync with the Halloween movie.
I used to hate that because I had a really big crush on Nev Campbell.
Sure.
So I hated, just picturing them having sex together pissed me off.
Oh, you liked her? She was pretty.
Oh, yeah. I had a huge... Nev Campbell used to remind me
eyes.
of... No, she didn't have big eyes.
Well, nice eyes. Not big, but nice.
Yeah, she used to remind me of AJ Johnson from Power Rangers. Remember the Power Rangers? I used to think that was her.
You saw Wild Things, right?
Oh, yeah.
She got her hair red and made out with Denise Richards.
Yeah,
in a
but
tank top.
Denise Richards was one that got topless. Not Nev Campbell.
That's
Although
fine.
Nev Campbell years
That's
later
fine,
did
though.
do a topless scene.
She did?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a movie called When Will I Be Loved, and it's an independent film, obviously.
When
Will I Be Loved?
When will I be loved?
It's one of those movies where...
What year?
I don't know what year. You can find it.
Do you have the exact minute, second?
Yeah, it's like the very first scene, pretty much.
Really?
Yeah. She's in a shower and she's naked, but it's like a top view, so you don't see much.
But
it's one of those bullshit movies where I'm sure, just like Christina Ricci had a nude scene in God, what was that movie?
She's still pretty hot, isn't she?
Prozac Nation, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Nev Campbell, or the fucking lady in Casper with the big eyes.
What was nice about big eyes?
Christina
Ricci.
Ricci.
Nice about Scream though. Yeah, although all those actors are pretty well known now. Matt Lillard, well, now you're not him, but
yeah, Matthew Lillard. Well, they all had their shining moments. Yeah.
You're dead.
None of them are really and that's kind of what's sad was there was this era where all of them kind of had their little bit of spotlight. Now you don't, if you hear about Nev Campbell anymore, it's because she's doing, maybe a TV series here and there. Courtney Cox too, and then another Scream movie.
Oh, yeah, Courtney Cox.
Courtney Cox's rise to fame was Friends, obviously, but after that she's got that Cougar. What's that show called? She's on now. Cougar
Town.
Yeah. So big deal. I don't know anybody who watches that. Yeah, I didn't like Scream 3 that much when it came out, although I love the performances in there. I love the little nod to Randy when he does his little video and he talks about the movie trilogy, and I've always loved Nev Campbell's performance in that film. She gets so emotional. I did think that, again, though, Scream 3 was going for that MTV generation. It had fucking, what's the blonde's name?
Well, let's face it, Scream was kind of for the MTV generation, too. That's what's nice about Scream is, like, old school horror fans could like it, but it also adhered to the current...
It's too teeny bopper.
Who said that? Whoever said that is an idiot. Who said that?
You know who said that?
Oh, Dan? Oh, he's a fucking idiot, so there you go. Anyways. No, but that's why I like Scream so much, and that's why I wanted to at least touch on it, because, I thought for its time it was probably the most I can't say that 'cause Silence of the Lambs was huge, but influential horror movie of the '90s, almost. If it wasn't for Silence of the Lambs, but for a straight out killer whodunit flick. That's what I mean, though. It has everything you want in a horror movie. It's scary. It tells a really cool story. Wasn't her mother like raped and murdered?
Yeah.
All that stuff is very dark and
that's brutal.
Like, and brutal kills. Not just Drew Barrymore. That first scene always gets me because her parents hear her get killed. Over the phone you hear her getting stabbed.
Well,
she's like, "Honey,
baby." That's the shocker too.
Ooh.
Like the most brutal
Creepy.
kill in that movie is the first kill. After that, it's just.
Did you notice the Halloween reference there though when he says, "Go to the Mackenzies"?
Yeah.
That's what she says to the
Yep.
locust. You can't kill the boogeyman. There he is.
Yeah.
Dun-it.
Yeah, I think I wanted to talk about horror movies a little bit. Now they have a new Chucky movie coming out, which is really weird.
It's a straight to DVD. That's not called a movie, but it's a movie, I guess. But doesn't count.
And this is the sad thing about direct to DVD movies. Yeah, usually direct to DVD movies are shit 99% of the time. Once in a while, a movie is good, it just can't find distribution. I think in the case of Chucky, it doesn't make any sense for them to go direct to DVD because Chucky has an audience. I think what it is I think studios are finding out really that there's movies sometimes just don't do very well in theaters, but they're very successful on
Where
DVD.
else can you take that story though? I mean, come on, what are you rebooting it? I mean, it's over. I mean,
it's Chucky though. It's any horror movie. You can make.
Let's
argument
reboot it. Hi, I'm Larry. Want to play?
But you can make that argument about any horror movie. I mean, there's so many different ways to bring a character back.
You got to renew. I don't know. I don't see how you can continue the story of Chuck. I don't know.
It's actually supposed to take place after Child's Play 3, and they're supposed to bring it. There's a trailer. If you check it out, it's pretty cool.
To you, Barkley.
It's got yeah. No, Brad Dourif is doing the voice, and Brad Dourif's daughter is actually in it. The story seemed pretty cool. It might be, and the guy who wrote it, I think, wrote the original Chucky is writing this one, so it'll probably be decent.
Chucky looks pretty cool. I think I saw a picture of him. Actually,
I mean,
cool.
they're bringing it back to its
Thank
darker
God.
roots. Yeah, but
it was like a comedy sketch.
Yeah.
After a while.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the same Ronnie Yu, who directed Freddy vs. Jason, did Bride of Chucky, and it was a comedy.
Bride of Chucky was actually not bad. I thought. I think it's
it
better than 2. Probably. Just because there's just energy to it. There's brutal kills in it, and it's also funny.
It's stupid.
Come on.
Seed of Chucky was terrible.
Yeah, I like how he gets turned on by her killing people. And don't they make love in Bride of Chucky?
Don't
you
you
got a
have
rubber?
protection? Baby, I'm all rubber. Stupid.
Kind of funny.
And I don't like Jennifer Tilly. I just don't.
So what else is there for you? Anything else? Because that's about all the topics I had. We pretty much went over everything.
What about this thing with Paramount? This is something I wanted to talk to you about. Paramount owning Friday the 13th again.
Yeah, sure.
So I wrote a script. What would you want to see in a Friday the 13th movie?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. Wow. Nicely question. I would love the snow.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
I would so
I mean,
love
the
it.
obvious
Jason
thought
in the
the
snow.
obvious thought would be do a story with Tommy Jarvis again. But what would you like to see him do? Maybe maybe Jason do a tour of Paris.
It's a hard question. No, he's not going to go to Paris.
You never know. He went to Manhattan / Vancouver / Titanic cruise ship.
Yeah, he learns to ride horses and stuff.
There you go. Learns to talk. Like
That hockey master fellow is so nice. That's what I would do. Jason's tale of redemption, and he tries to be the nicest person ever. No, walks like old ladies across the street. Why do you do this, Jason? Well, I killed a bunch of people and I feel bad.
You ever see Sling Blade?
I
He'd be
feel
like the guy in Sling Blade.
bad. I want to walk the old ladies across the street.
And then kill them with my giant dick.
I killed a guy in a wheelchair. Double penetrated a guy and a girl having sex. I did a lot of terrible things I'm not proud of. I've been killed 10 times.
Then that asshole Freddy really did a number on me, and then they went to outer space.
That's what it's going to be called. Jason Behind the Killing. Yeah, it's like a reality show. That's what I want. I want a reality show of Jason going home and chilling and hanging out.
I want a reality show.
I'll tell you the one thing the remake did get right. It was definitely he is kind of almost like a Texas Chainsaw character. It's what would Jason be like? Think about it. A retarded boy living in the woods. What else do you think he would be doing? He would be doing stuff like that. Stealing petrol. What was he stealing? Gasoline and... I remember in the remake, he was setting traps. He had to survive in the woods. Jason would be like that.
That didn't bother me. I liked I like that. There's this notion with horror movies today that you don't need a cast of characters that you can really care for. And I wouldn't say that a lot of the Friday the 13th movies generally had Shakespearean characters. I'm not saying that. But what we were talking about on our very first podcast with at least the first couple of movies, the characters, even though they were cliche, stupid camp counselors, had personality. And in the newer remakes and whatever, there's no characters you can really root for. You just want to see them die because they all suck.
That blonde guy in the remake was a dick. He's all trying to inquire about his lost sister, and he's all like, "Hey man, you done here? Come on."
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm talking about. Like,
oh, it was terrible. What, I can't listen to Green Day?
And then when you kill him, you don't even have any payoff. You know, it's just like, come on, if you're gonna have a dick like that in the character, have him get his balls like
that's a good question.
Impaled on
on
a
Jason?
saw or something.
I guess in the end you would just want an old. I always wanted to make a Friday. I told you that would be so cool to make a Friday the 13th film. I always was saying with you and me and I guess Glenn. Wouldn't you like Glenn to die? Like, not, you know what I mean, but like a Jason death. I could be Jason, and you could film it like, hello. You could see Glenn opening the door. Hello. All of a sudden, it'd be fun, dude, to get like 5 of your friends together and just have them have a party and have Jason kill them off one by one. That'd be so cool. And then have the survivor run in the house. That would sound like fun. I'm sure a lot of fans do that kind of stuff because then you can invent your own kills. You could think, how can I kill this person? I think that'd be so cool. I'm surprised
Jason
we never
just
did
like
that.
in a little room with blueprints. Like,
I just think I'll
setting
find
up
out just
traps.
even 4 of your friends that could act decently.
Yeah.
You know, that would be so cool. You can see, hello. No, I can't even play my PlayStation. No, I have no head.
I've set my head in my stump.
That's what I mean. That would be cool to do with Jason. Come on, you have to admit that would be kind of cool. Just even like it was like a 15-minute short, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, 4
I gotta
kids
tell you
partying.
though, I directed and starred as Jason in Attack of the Bee movies, and that makeup sucks.
Well, you wouldn't have to.
Your skin burns all the time. I wouldn't mind filming it and being like
What'd
somebody
they shoot
that died.
you with? What'd you get shot with?
Oh, and they shot me with a
Yeah.
shotgun.
Air gun?
It was like an air gun. It was you know what I think it was? It was some kind of a pump. It was like a garden pump that you would usually use to spray like pesticides on stuff.
Yeah.
And the part that actually sprays out, they taped it around my waist,
Uh-huh.
and then they taped. They put I had a little button-up black shirt on that they
Did
taped
it hurt?
to me. No, it was because it was just all it is a hose. It's basically an air hose that comes up through my belt up here, and then they put a little hole in my jacket where the hose stuck out.
Oh.
And then there's a guy off screen. If you actually
That's
see,
cool.
I'm standing in front of it's like a washer machine or something. It's got a white sheet on it. Well,
Yeah.
the guy pumping that was behind there, and when I yelled action, he just pumped on it, and the blood started gushing out. But what's funny about that is, if you look at it, if you get shot that way, I don't think the blood would gush out forward like that. It just,
Oh, it could, yeah, sure.
I don't know.
It's not like it's one of the horrible deaths we
It looks
saw.
bad.
I like
Yeah.
that shark that just ate that guy on the jet ski. Ah! Just wasn't. But
That was
anyways.
hard though. That makeup stings because I had to wear liquid latex around my eyes and tearing it off.
I like how you combined Freddy with Jason. That was kind of cool. The one part I remember is when the little girl's on the tricycle and Devin comes running in, and you mentioned Freddy, but then you turn around and there's Jason. It was such a cool little mix of movie characters. And then you did Star Wars. Didn't you do Star Wars in that movie?
Yeah.
You did
Just all the
Jack
films.
and his friend Alberto.
Josh.
What's it, Josh?
Yeah.
Alberto.
Okay.
Fat fuck.
Be nice. Yeah. It was. I mean, it was not a fun movie to shoot because it was.
Devin.
It was
Devin.
overwhelming to have a crew and to shoot on motion picture film, which is a totally different breed of
You
film.
are a total cunt.
Yeah.
Is that what you hired him?
No, Devin had actually worked on a couple of feature films, so he had experience, and that's why I hired him. But I think he was frustrated as an actor because all he had to do the whole film was run around and yell like a little girl. Which I understand. Looking back at it, I wish I would have had it done a movie where there was more dialogue and more chances to
We
act.
should combine the two podcasts. Didn't we do one the other time that was like 20 minutes long?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll combine these
Much
two.
Ado About Nothing Part
Combine
2.
these two. No, combine and make them into one podcast.
Nah, this is fine.
That'd be a little bit better.
Whatever.
Because we are officially out of things to talk about.
Yeah.
I think we have reached it. No, there's nothing wrong with that, man. We've done so many podcasts. In the
Yeah,
last
but
couple months.
there are people who do podcasts every day. They just sit and talk and bullshit.
Oh, and they have guests. Well, what do you want to talk about?
Guest appearances, okay, fucking Heather Langenkamp, come on out here for free.
Hey!
Fucking talk about, I did watch, this is funny. I was talking to you about that Never Say Never, that Never Sleep Again documentary. It's that 4.5-hour documentary on Nightmare on Elm Street. And Heather Langenkamp actually did a follow-up documentary called I Am Nancy. and it's all about like people not giving a shit about the character of Nancy. Like people don't get tattoos of her, people don't have action figures of Nancy. It's always with Freddy or you know. So it's this whole and it's called the actual title of it is I Am Nancy Never Sleep Again 2. So she's calling it's like an unofficial sequel. But first of all, it's not a very well-made documentary, and I love Heather Langenkamp, but she's interviewing this guy getting this really boss tattoo of Freddy on his arm. But, you know, the needle, when you get it done, makes a really loud noise, and she's interviewing this guy while he's getting the tattoo. So tell me about what you think about Nancy. The whole, like, for half an hour, I'm like, come on.
You even know who I am? Well, sweet, man.
I like Heather Langenkamp a lot. I just, you know,
she's all right.
Your
At least
movie.
she defeated Freddy. She wrapped his tongue around some bars, or
That's another interesting thing, though.
His tongue, and
they were talking, you know, like they were talking. Heather Langenkamp was talking about interest about reviving her character, but her character, I think, officially died in 3.
She's dead.
So I've always wondered, like, how would you resurrect her? How would you bring her back? Would you just kind of ignore
you just
that?
Follow
happened?
the plot of New Nightmare.
Yeah, but even in New Nightmare, they never explain how she's brought back. You know, they just kind of start her off at the house.
Because it's real life.
You're saying that it's real life.
New Nightmare. New Nightmare was...
Right, but at the end of the movie, she accepts the role of Nancy and she gets back into the movie role again. But it never explains like how that works because her character Nancy died. So how is she resurrected? You know what I'm saying? Maybe the movie.
Was she in a new Freddy movie? She was.
No, I'm just saying Wes Craven's New Nightmare. At the very end of the movie, she actually becomes Nancy again. Remember, she's like Freddy John, and he's like, "Why are you calling me John?" Because it's a movie again. So it just doesn't explain like how Nancy actually comes back. Anyway, I always thought it'd be kind of cool where like Freddy has dreams of Nancy, or other kids have dreams about Nancy, and that's how they bring her back. I don't know. Well, shut up. Why is that so?
Your
funny?
mom's so ugly she gets Freddy Krueger nightmares.
Your mom's so ugly that she's a fat bitch.
So New Evil Dead sucked? I shouldn't watch it? Should I watch it?
I don't understand how it got such big praise when everyone else hates the other remakes. Like, how can you hate the Freddy remake, hate the Halloween remakes, hate the Friday the 13th remake, but then the Evil Dead remake is cool? Like,
because it's a good movie.
It's not. It's as typical and bland of a remake as all the other shit that
you
gets...
can make a good remake. I mean, the other ones do suck, but...
John Carpenter's The Thing, sure, but I'm just saying, like, you should only remake movies that aren't good to begin with, that you can change stuff. Don't make remakes of movies that are known, tested classics.
You're preaching to the choir, man.
I know. Evil Dead came out, and it wasn't even a big thing. I haven't seen any commercials for it. There's no coverage of it. No one's talking about it.
You're the one that said they should remake Casablanca. You said that. They should modernize it.
All I'm saying...
Bill Clinton's the bad guy.
I never said that, you asshole.
Well, to modernize it.
No, I'm just saying Casablanca, the only reason I said that is because since that time... when Casablanca was being made, I don't think there was much awareness about what the Nazis were actually doing. So I said, because
that was made during World War II.
Right, but that's the thing. I don't think we had much knowledge of what was going on until after the war. I'm
pretty sure by 43 they had.
And even if they did, they were not putting it in movies. So even though Nazis were typically the villains, we didn't know how bad that they really, much of a villain they were.
Rap. Maybe Nazis are getting a bad rap. Maybe they're not as bad as people think they are.
Yeah, okay, well, go fuck your dick. With a guy.
Go fuck your dick with a guy. I like that. You have to keep that one.
I'm not a
homophobe. Go fuck your dick with a guy.
I'm not a homophobe, but I think Matt should have his dick
Put
sucked
some
by a
fake
guy.
boobs on yourself, too, so he can grope you.
There you go. Anyway. Grow some fake boobs and call them hemorrhoids.
Yeah, we went through all my...
That's all I said. I just think that with movies like Schindler's List and...
let's make a sequel to Schindler's List.
Yeah. Anyway, I just think it would be kind of
They all come back from the grave.
To see Casablanca done with like a more realistic look on that time period, because World War II was a very romanticized time period. Any movie that's made about World War II, they romanticize the crap out of it. Jason, I don't know. Who played Rick? Bill Clinton. Ron Jeremy. Ving Rhames. Eddie Murphy.
Morgan Freeman is Spider-Man.
No, I'm not saying Casablanca needs a remake. You'd be stupid to remake it. I think it'd be interesting to kind of look at it from the way we know the Nazis now. I mean, you don't need to. You can always look at Casablanca and be like, you know who the Nazis were and what they did. And there's a lot of movies about the Nazis anyway. You know,
they just kill her lover and go on the plane together. That's how it
there we go.
Victor Laszlo.
Gremlins 2, like
put that gun down.
Casablanca now in color with a happier ending.
Put that phone down. Put it down. That's my favorite. Round up the usual suspects.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
But no, seriously, you shouldn't. I mean, that's my biggest beef with like the Evil Dead remake is first of all, there's no character named Ash, and people are like, well, do you really need Ash to? Yeah, that's what fucking Evil Dead is. It's one
you
of
don't
the
need
few.
Ash.
It's one of the few horror movies that actually has a distinguished hero.
Well, Bruce Campbell ain't gonna do it. What do you want him to do? Cast Ash again?
Well, you're not going to have a Nightmare on Elm Street remake and not have Freddy. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to have a Friday the 13th remake and not have Jason.
Well, then you can't do Evil Dead. You just have to move on. You knew Bruce Campbell wasn't going to be in it. What are you going to do?
No, but you need to have a hero, and that's the thing. Evil Dead doesn't have a distinguished hero. The remake doesn't. And as far as, the gore and everything, yeah, it's a gory movie, but so what? Like, Evil Dead was Sam Raimi's movies. The reason why Evil Dead works, one of the big reasons, is because it was so creatively fucked up and artistic because of all the camera moves. And
Artistic?
It was. And you just can't emulate that. And I don't even care if Sam Raimi produced it. Sam Raimi produced the fucking Legend of the Seeker.
They're trying to distance themselves from Evil Dead. You can't just do the same movie and you don't, you're trying
then
to
why
make something
it?
Different. Because you're trying to do it for this generation.
But you're not doing anything
because people
different.
don't appreciate
You're
Evil
essentially
Dead.
doing
It's from the 80s,
scene.
so we're not going to watch it.
You're essentially doing a scene. That's bullshit. And you're essentially doing a scene-for-scene remake of the movie, but without any of the things that made it stand out. It wasn't its own movie. It was very bland.
What was it, 82 Evil Dead, wasn't it? 82?
Yeah, something like that.
I love Evil Dead. I actually watched it not too long ago on Blu-ray, mind you. I forgot how quickly it gets going, It's like right away there's that. They almost get into a car accident. And,
it's just not.
And I like the possession.
It's not
I like when she's drawing on the piece of paper and all of a sudden she starts going.
It's not as effective as the original.
We'll write a letter to the.
I just don't see why people thought it was such a good movie when it came out.
Was it a good horror movie?
No.
Really? Even when compared with other horror movies of today?
It wasn't. There's nothing memorable about it. A movie that's comparable to it is Cabin in the Woods. Did you see that movie?
Yeah.
That's a good horror movie.
Yeah.
That's how you take like people have said Cabin in the Woods was the Evil Dead remake. Really, I mean that's
a fresh idea.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't remake it. Come up with an idea similar and do something really good with it.
They
like
probably
Cabin
shouldn't have
in the
remade
Woods.
it. I think you're right. They probably shouldn't have remade it in the first place. Then,
I'm not against remakes. Don't get me wrong. There are things like Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, Halloween, where it's even though the remakes themselves aren't technically good movies. You're at least bringing the character out again, so people are aware of the characters. Evil Dead, though, that's why I'm kind of pissed that they didn't have Ash. Like, you're not, I don't know, you're not really.
Well,
even
if you're
going to
remake, if you're remaking it, you can't have Ash. Then it's not really a remake because then it's more like a sequel. Well, what is Ash going to do? Is he, then
you
it's
have
a
a different
sequel.
actor play Ash.
Well, then
I
it's a
don't know.
sequel.
It's stupid. No, it's not. You're contradicting yourself because you've
Because
got
if
Freddy
Ash
and
is there-
Jason.
If Ash is there.
But
I
they
don't
made a
know.
fucking Freddy movie where they had someone else play Freddy.
I think Bruce
Freddy
Campbell is Ash. You're not going to recast Ash. That's silly to even think about doing. Just don't have him there. And try your best. And apparently they did, and I guess people liked it, and it made some money, so I mean, whatever.
I disagree, and I don't understand.
I've never seen the movie, so it's hard for me to even talk about it,
Yeah,
I don't like them remaking Evil Dead. I think it's very unnecessary.
Yeah.
I would rather them release in theaters the original and let people go see it. I mean,
Yeah.
instead they'd rather go watch, fucking Dead Silence.
Dead Silence.
Yeah, there's a movie called Dead Silence. Came out like 10 years ago. Exactly. I forgot. Killer Dolls,
All
something
right.
like that.
I
But you know what
just-
I mean. They'd rather go watch The Conjuring or The
I'd
Happening.
almost rather watch, and I hate to say it because I didn't like it, but I'd rather just watch the fucking Freddy remake because at least that
Oh,
resembles
God.
Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, Evil Dead really,
I just wanted to pet him.
Yeah, so remakes. So that was my thing about the Chucky, though. The Chucky DVD, and I know I'm coming back to
The
it.
Chucky DVD.
No, because I was going online, and that's another one that's had the Child's Play movies have had a hard time coming to DVD because there have been so many different companies involved with it. So it's cool to know that in October they're coming out with the massive, all 6 films. But, I saw on the box set, you go to Amazon.com, Child's Play 2, Child's Play 3, Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, Curse of Chucky. And I said, okay, Curse of Chucky must be a documentary about the entire series, kind of like, his name was Jason and all that. And it's not. It's the 6th movie. So I didn't even realize that there was a 6th movie.
That's how you found out?
Yeah.
The Curse of... I would
Curse of
never get a
Chucky.
box set of that crap. If I only like 2 movies, I don't think it's worth it to buy 6 of them.
No, they're fun.
Yeah.
They're fun movies. Aside from the last 2, I mean, the first 3 are at
Maybe
least
on a rainy night.
enjoyable. Well, whatever. They're better than fucking Puppet Master.
Oh.
They are.
I like Puppet Master, too.
Because you're gay and stupid.
I liked it. Made me laugh.
Because you're a fucking
I
dork.
like when the guy jumps out of the bed naked. That was funny.
I'm sure you do.
It's just funny the way... Never mind. I don't remember too much about that, but... Yeah. It had a freaky end. I don't know if you know the end of Puppet Master 2 is when he became a doll himself. That was kind of freaky looking.
Yeah. Puppet Master sucks. A big brown donkey dick. Anyway, your mother sucks big brown elephant dick.
Jesus. I can't see it now with your stomach in the way.
Huh?
Oh, and De Niro's fixing the TV, and he's getting so fat, and Pesci says, I can't see with your stomach in the way now.
Yeah. That is so weird. Hasn't De Niro and Pesci been in a lot of movies together, or is it just that and Goodfellas?
Casino.
Yeah, Casino. I didn't like Casino that much. Right. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. So, yeah, the Evil Dead remake, go see it, I guess. I saw it in theaters, and I was unimpressed. I saw Evil Dead 2 recently, and I love that movie. I love Army of Darkness, which is my favorite one.
I guess I'd have to go with the dark and horror of the first one, but
yeah,
they're all.
I think a lot of people do.
It depends on the mood you're in, man. If you're in the mood for a comedy action, watch Army of Darkness. But if you want to watch a scary horror movie, The Evil Dead's probably the one to go with.
I think Evil Dead 2 though blends the two together very
nicely.
nicely.
It was a little too on the goofy side. It wasn't as scary
it was.
for sure.
Yeah, Jess was fucking freaked out by it. We were watching.
It's freaky. It's trippy.
Yeah,
it's not. I mean, the only thing I didn't like about Evil Dead obviously was like, the laughing demon. But that was so sexy. It was his girlfriend, I think, and it had the you know what I mean. It's the mood you're in. It depends on what your mood
and
you're in.
that's the thing with the remake though. It doesn't have any kind of. It's not goofy.
I mean, I could say Evil Dead is one of the best horror movies ever made. I could just about say that because it's very unrelenting. Like I said, it starts right away. Boom, you are thrown into this world of just evil and possession, and it's creepy. And there's a rape scene, the pencil stabbing. The effects, I think, are still really cool. And like you said, what'd you call it? Artistic. With the camera work and obviously introduced Ash to the masses.
Just what they had to work with. And I just don't understand, especially coming off of Cabin in the Woods. Why would you do an Evil Dead remake? Like, just do something different or... I don't know.
Because it hasn't held, an audience. And I guess people wanted a new Evil Dead movie.
I think
you're playing devil's.
You're playing devil's advocate.
Well, people wanted a new Evil Dead movie. People have been asking for that, and so they had to have gotten together and said, "Well, what's the best way can we do it for them?"
No, they didn't do it the best way. They didn't. They don't even have a guy with a chainsaw. Fuck it. They just.
You wonder how these projects get greenlighted. It's so amazing that these companies and movie distributions greenlight these pieces of shit.
Just do Evil Dead 4. Fuck it, he's old. So what? Let him kick some more ass.
Yeah, you want ass, then that's what you have to do. You can't
just fuck it
with Bruce Campbell.
I never said remake it with Bruce Campbell. I just said you got to have a character either
like
Ash or called Ash.
Are you saying Evil Dead didn't have a survivor? The remake?
I think it did, but you just don't care about them.
Oh, and they're the hero. Right. They all look the same, Yeah.
Freddy got fingered, yay.
There's just no heart in film anymore. I'm sorry. There just isn't.
There is, just not remakes. Just not remakes. Why reboot every fucking thing?
Because it makes money.
I'm done with remakes. Even fucking Star Trek. I'm just fucking
God
done.
damn it, I hate this world. I want to make a Friday the 13th movie. Doesn't that sound so much fun? Because you get to come up with the kills. You can, bash...
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like fun. Can you imagine killing Glenn? Like, you just find a great way to do it.
Throwing him down a flight of stairs onto a bed, onto a bed of spikes. And then
he goes down there and goes,
the spikes have explosives on it.
Oh, no, it's not too over the top, but I think a Jason movie would be so cool to film. You could probably do it very cheaply. Yeah. Get a bunch of friends, about 4 victims, partying together, and have them kill all of them. Don't even... I made it!
It's just Jason coming in. I hate you and you and you and new hockey's on.
Some guy's gonna have to die in the shitter. That'd be great.
He's sitting there and all of a sudden the fucking machete.
I'm in the shitter. What? God damn it! What?
Help me, horny Henry. It should be like
he goes to the sewer just to stab the guy in the ass.
I'm watching out for the snake that'll come through there and bite your ass.
I would like Jason just grab someone and go, as hard as he could. Oh,
want to see a magic trick?
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, it's gone. Anyway, you're just gonna take all our money and walk away? Mm-hmm. But yeah, anyways, that would be fun. Come on, I always thought that'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
Jack and Glenn and Sariana, what's her name?
Serena. You fucking dick.
Serena and
A shower scene.
Ellen or what?
Elena?
Elena, thank you.
A lesbian shower scene.
So Ellen and Serena.
Ellen DeGeneres?
It sounds like a sing-out. And Elaine Dreyfus meet their fates.
Whenever...
No, Jason comes out of the toilet. That would be kind of cool. Some guy's taking a shit. I was like, oh! And Jason comes out of the toilet. That's so stupid. I'm sorry. That would be fun to film a Jason movie.
Whenever Jason comes up, you hear the Jaws music.
Okay. Is that it? Are we done? Anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah. I love the Evil Dead remake. It was really good. I'm just kidding. The other Evil Dead's pale in comparison. And the Evil Dead remake was great. You guys are geniuses. You made a fantastic film that'll go down in history.
Raw productions. Pretty fucking raw. Yeah. Retarded ass wipers.
Accordion ultrasound.
Hellmaster. So when I fucked this guy I knew.
He got away.
Impromptu at its best.
All right, everybody. We're done. Have a good night.
Oh, we got over an hour, so there you go.
Please listen to our podcast. Sing a song.
Donations won't hurt either.
Yeah, and don't watch shitty remakes like Evil Dead. All right, night.